Well, the King and the Queen Consort left here about 5 minutes ago. They did a pretty substantial walkabout. It was quite quick, if I'm honest, but it was substantial. They went right from one end of the crowd at the entrance to the inner door of the castle here, right the way along to the end of the queue. And they did spend some considerable time, particularly the Queen. The Queen Consort was really getting involved with smiling and chatting to people and receiving endless flowers. The King did his best. He went along and he greeted quite a few people, but then it seemed at the very end of it, he got a little bit impatient, I think, to get back into the car and get on his way. So he then moved into the car while the Queen carried on receiving more flowers, and he almost drove off without her at the end. She stayed a long time talking to everybody because, of course, it's a huge thing for her, isn't this? You know, if you look at the transformation that she has had since the days when she was Camilla Parker Bowles, the most hated woman in England, to now being the Queen Consort, a huge transformation in the hearts and minds of the British public. And that was nowhere shown better than here just now. People greeting her, people excited. And in fact, they did a rendition of God Save the King. And at the end of it, they started to sing God Save Camilla, which doesn't quite rhyme in the same way, but they were giving it a damn good go. And it was successful towards the end. So yes, a lot of love for the King and for Camilla here too.
Indeed, if anyone can belt out a song, it'd be the Welsh, I suppose. So I'm sure that they got a good rendition of that. And the public reaction was OK, but you did mention there, Jeff, as I think one can understand, is King Charles possibly quite conscious of time. He had to get a move on, did he? No doubt to his next engagement. So he got back in the old royal roller, did he? And then Camilla was stood there doing a bit more of the meeting and greeting, is that right?
Yes, absolutely, yes. He got to the end of the line and then, quick as a flash, he was back in the car and he was sort of waiting in the car, only for a few seconds, but he was waiting in the car for Camilla to come and join him. Looked a little bit as though he was a bit impatient as well. But yes, a huge day for them. They're now travelling back to London. And then, of course, their next public appearance will be at 7:30 when they'll be at the catafalque, standing as guard of honour along with his brothers and his sister. On Her Majesty's coffin. So another huge day for the King today. Hopefully he'll have a slightly less packed schedule over the next couple of days so that he can take a little bit of time for himself. He'll obviously still have the red boxes to open and various functions to perform. That's his life now, but at least no more public appearances until the day of the funeral itself. So hopefully a weekend for the King to rest up a little bit and to reflect on what must be the most incredible, surreal and emotional week of his entire life. It's the most emotional and surreal week in most people's lives, I think.